Taylor Swift has reportedly decided to distance herself entirely from the ongoing legal entanglement involving Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, particularly after portions of her private text messages were made public through unsealed court documents. According to insiders familiar with the situation, the singer-songwriter feels deeply unsettled by the breach of her personal privacy, as these exchanges, meant to remain confidential, suddenly entered the public domain as part of the high-profile dispute. One source close to Swift emphasized that the exposure has left her feeling vulnerable. The insider noted that Swift believes her privacy has been significantly impacted by the revelation of these messages. In any ordinary circumstance, people would naturally feel uncomfortable if their private conversations were thrust into the open without consent. The discomfort stems from the loss of control over personal communications that were never intended for widespread viewing. This sentiment echoes a broader unease among public figures when intimate details, shared in trust, become fodder for legal proceedings and media scrutiny. Another account from a different insider reinforced this perspective, describing how challenging the experience has been for Swift. The release of her texts has made her feel exposed in a profound way, almost as though a violation has occurred. Something private was abruptly no longer hers alone to keep. The emotional toll is considerable, as it disrupts the boundary between personal life and public spectacle, especially for someone who has long navigated fame with a careful balance of openness and reserve in her communications. The controversy traces back to the production and aftermath of the film It Ends With Us, where tensions between Lively and Baldoni escalated into formal legal action. In late 2024, Lively initiated a lawsuit against Baldoni, accusing him of sexual harassment along with orchestrating a retaliatory smear campaign directed at her. Baldoni has firmly denied all allegations, rejecting the claims as baseless and defending his actions throughout the collaboration. The back-and-forth intensified when Baldoni filed a countersuit, though that effort was ultimately dismissed by the court in mid-2025, marking a significant development in the saga. Further complicating matters, Baldoni's legal team pursued a subpoena against Swift earlier in 2025. They argued that Lively had leveraged her close friendship with the singer to exert undue influence over the film's creative direction, potentially shifting control in ways that affected the project. This move suggested that Swift's involvement, whether through advice, encouragement, or casual input, played a role in the dynamics on set. However, the subpoena request was later withdrawn as confirmed by representatives for Lively, bringing that particular line of inquiry to a close without further escalation. The unsealed court filing from January 20 brought several private exchanges into the light, including not only Swift's texts but also communications involving other prominent figures such as actors Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, Lively's husband Ryan Reynolds, and the novel's author Colleen Hoover. These revelations painted a fuller picture of behind-the-scenes interactions during the film's development and promotion. The inclusion of such high-profile names amplified the story's reach, turning what might have remained a contained industry dispute into a broader tabloid and public fascination. For Swift, the fallout appears deeply personal. As a musician who has built a career partly on transforming private experiences into art, through songs that draw from relationships, emotions, and personal moments, the unauthorized release of texts strikes at the heart of her creative and personal autonomy. Fans and observers have long admired her for maintaining a degree of separation between her public persona and private life, even as she shares generously in her music. This incident disrupts that equilibrium, forcing her to confront the reality that even careful, trusted conversations can be weaponized in legal battles. The broader context of the Lively-Baldoni feud involves allegations of misconduct, creative differences, and reputational damage. Lively has positioned her claims as a stand against harassment and unfair treatment in the industry, while Baldoni has countered by challenging the narrative and seeking to clear his name. The involvement of celebrity friendships, like that between Lively and Swift, adds layers of intrigue, as it raises questions about how personal alliances influence professional outcomes in Hollywood. Swift's reported desire to step away aligns with a common response among those peripherally drawn into such conflicts, prioritizing self-protection over continued association.